Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tony boy.
I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid.
Testicles, 1, 2, testicles. Welcome back, everybody. This is your humble host, Trebles Garcia, and this is Paranoid Radio Podcast, the best show with the best content for the best listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing episode lined up for you guys. Striking with Iron is hot. This is the first of the month. As always, have power bombs. Big Tank, the best co-host on the fucking planet, will not be able to join us today. However, we brought in a special guest, and we have an amazing segment by JB from Rogue One Media. So we're going to start off the show with that. JB, take it away.
Welcome back to the Galactic Update Report. I'm JB. Let's get into it. We catch up with JP, our secret space soldier whistleblower, who is on another mission that took place on February 10th in an underground city inside the Earth.
He was close to 7 foot tall, this guy. That his skin was really pale. So we started going down into this cave system. So we kept going, and we see in the distance a bigger cave that opens up, and we see this beautiful, beautiful city. We see a type of flying saucer, and then you start seeing people our size, like 6 foot, 6'2", and they're blonde, and they're working with these tall guys, these tall races. These people that are like similar to our size, 6'2", 6 foot. They had blonde hair, blue eyes. I felt like they were Nordics.
JP is referring to these extraterrestrials as Nordic-looking people with blonde hair, similar to Palladians.
Just to be clear, you felt that they were Nordic extraterrestrials, not just Nordic-looking humans. These were extraterrestrials just in this underground city.
Yeah. We're walking in this tube-like tunnel. It had glass, rounded glass on each side. When we were looking at the glass, we saw hundreds of these ships in line. As far as you can see hundreds of these UFOs. They look metallic, they look round, and they had different sizes, different shapes, but they were all lined up. Like if they were going monitoring and then coming back and reporting what they're monitoring. There's ones that they got up and they just disappeared, and they reappeared and parked in the same spot.
So this is like a spaceport you saw there, adjacent to this huge city.
Yeah, we can say it was a spaceport. In the distance, you can see different ships, and there was different beings coming in and out also with different types of ships. One of the Nordics spoke, and they said, "This is for you to report back that this place exists, and we're monitoring what everybody's doing, and we're protecting certain people, and we're working with the military." And I understood that they're protecting the ant people. They protect a lot of different species of humans that live in the Earth. And then in the distance, I see a holographic screen, and it was showing where all the ships were at once. And there was hundreds of ships and about doing different kind of missions. They can't interact with the civilizations that is living on Earth now, not unless they're working with the military. They said it's because of protection of humanity, they need to keep this secret for now. They know that they really want the public to see the technology that they have, to share that technology. But they're keeping the technology safe because there's a temporal war going on. And it's dangerous, the war is going on. There's people jumping on different timelines, doing different things. So because of the temporal war and the technology that they have, they say it's dangerous now to reveal the ships. The first wave is going to be all these UFOs coming out and making contact with major powers, with the civilian sector, them coming out. We're going to see them like cars. We're going to see these ships like a regular basis. You know, we're seeing them now on a regular basis, but when the arcs are fully activated, that's when you're going to see all these fleets of UFOs coming out, landing, flying up on different places. You're going to see them. People are going to be riding on them, but there's a lot of people that don't want that to happen. They don't want that part to happen. 2025, supposedly they're going to send people to the moon, and that's going to be revealed also what we have in the moon. 2024 also is going to be a major breakthrough, but 2023 they're deciding for the UFOs to come more public and fly out more. And they have videos that they're gonna give permission to certain people for them to show to the public. It's gonna be really exciting.
That is bombshell information that proves quite a bit. This is astonishing. We're talking about there's vast cities inside the earth that we are coming to know about. Massive fleets of ships from extraterrestrial beings that are protecting humanity and other species inside the earth, working with our military, planning to disclose, sharing their information. It confirms space. I don't know what the flat earth community is going to say about this. They're going to have a hard time accepting this, but it's looking like space certainly does exist. Remember, folks, JP is verified, confirmed secret space soldier, whistleblower, who's been given the authorization to slowly disclose to the public what his missions are about, to a certain extent. A lot of pieces of the puzzle are coming together every week, every month, every day. The temporal war that he speaks about is the critical part, because what it means is that they're traveling in time. They're jumping back and forth in time and trying to change events and continually trying to disrupt each other's plans for their own agenda. So they can't reveal this technology. We're not ready for it. Clearly, we're not ready for it. So it's up to us. We have to keep our heads on and just prepare, because they're coming and we're going to meet them. I'm excited. That's it for this edition of the Galactic Update Report. I'm JB with Rogue One Media. Now back to Paranoid Radio.
Wow, what an amazing segment from JB from Rogue One Media. Check this out, guys. The thing is that what he's speaking about, what JP, his correspondent, speaking about, he's talking about live shit that's happening now. The UFO disclosure getting put out now coincides with everything that he said. So if you want to learn more on what's happening in the stars, make sure you check out JB from Rogue One Media now. Okay, here comes the juicy part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to go on and set the fucking mood and strike where the iron is hot. Check this out. Over the last few weeks, we have been following the development of the worst environmental disaster in U.S. history. The war against evil makes an even more fervent appeal on all-out war in Europe, while our president plays stepdaddy, to whom many are calling the most dangerous man on earth. Zelensky receives over $70 billion taxpaying dollars to stuff up his fucking nose. Ohio gets none. Our soil bleeds with deadly chemicals, and our rivers glimmer with rainbow colors of ghostly toxins. Our nation crumbles from within in the hands of a lackluster commander-in-chief. But to set the fucking mood straight, and back with another groundbreaking episode on the first of the month, it's my absolute honor to have our deep state correspondent, Flash, from Flash_News1 on IG, and now recently Flash_News on his new Twitter account. Welcome back, Big Flash. How's it going, bro?
Let's go, bro. What's up, Trebs? How you doing, man? Glad to be back, bro.
I'm doing good, bro. I'm catching a tan out here in Central America.
You're looking good, kid.
Oh, thank you. I'm fucking driving up and down. I got to meet my fucking dad. My dad got to meet my daughters.
Oh, that's amazing, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I'm closing the gap. You
deserve a break, bro. You've been going hard.
Yeah, bro. And we still are. I'm actually recording right here, right now, from San Miguel, El Salvador, right now on the Wi-Fi connection in my fucking my in-laws' house. And the only room with AC complete. It's 110 degrees out here right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, bro.
Crazy stuff. But we're here to fucking join up and we have a lot to talk about. Well, actually, Flash has a lot to talk about. Flash has been dropping content consistently, videos. He's not scared of the camera. You could find him on Flashy_News1 on IG. He's a businessman. He's a fucking father above all, and he is also a God-fearing man to set the to spread the truth. And he is a fucking freedom-fighting patriot warrior. So, Flash, we have a lot to talk about, and you sent me a couple of notes that you wanted to begin with the Ohio situation regarding the train wreck and the chemical spills. What's going on?
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, obviously everybody now, it's almost been 3 weeks now since the East Palestine train derailment in Ohio. You know, and if you just look, you know, on the basis of what it is, and, you know, these things happen in America, you know, not one like this, obviously, but trains derail all the time. You know, we have a certain reaction to it, media and things like that. So this one was a little different, only because you have to look at who owned those trains, the Norfolk
That's important.
Southern trains. Okay, that's the first thing you should always look at in these situations. And the three biggest stakeholders are J.P. Morgan Chase, Vanguard, and BlackRock. Now,
Coincidentally.
if you're in the truth community, I don't have to explain to you who those people are. If you haven't heard those names, look up a name named Larry Fink. This guy is pretty much using pension funds and the stock markets, and they own like trillions and trillions of dollars of assets. Vanguard and BlackRock. They do is they buy up single family homes all across the country, and then they rent them out. This is the idea of you'll own nothing and be happy. This is how they're going to get it done. So now that the housing market is crashing, now it's the same thing with the farms. Farms are crashing now. Okay, and this is where Bill Gates comes in too. Bill Gates, Larry Fink, they're like this.
I like to call him Kill Gates. Fucking asshole.
That's a good name for him, bro. So now these guys are all, these guys all have common interests, even if they don't hang out with each other, or, you never see them together, they're not that stupid, so if you look at what Bill Gates is doing and has been doing, he is the largest farmland owner in the world in America. He owns the most farmland out of anybody. Out of any company, out of any single person, any Tyson Foods, like any major food processor, Bill Gates owns the most farmland in the United States.
Absolutely.
And a close second is the Chinese Communist Party.
So in the US.
In the USA. So we have Bill Gates and the Chinese Communist Party owning most of the farmland in the United States.
They also own ports. For a lot of people that do not know, they own a lot of ports in California.
100%.
Yeah.
So now, and this is why Bill Gates spent so much money buying up the media, because when Bill Gates was younger, he had a really bad reputation. He was a bad boss. People hated him. That there's a video of somebody hit him in the face with a pie in 1990, you know what I mean? Like when he was walking to court, because he actually got in a lot of trouble for his monopolies and stuff like that. So
he got in trouble in Africa as well for testing vaccines, not the COVID vaccine, but different.
The polio vaccine. Yeah, it was giving kids polio. Yeah, more kids got polio from the oral polio vaccine than actually didn't get polio from it stopping it. So he actually made an outbreak but nobody talks about that. But nobody talks about it because he went out and bought up all the media. So now he had a political relations campaign back in like the early 2000s. It shifted, and then he got out there. He was a philanthropist. He started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? And then that was all for PR, for public relations, to make it look like, look, we're helping people, like we're feeding people in Africa, and we're vaccines. Like, my man's not a scientist. I don't even think he went to school. I think he dropped out of college, actually. He's a computer guy, so but you got to remember what he did. I'm going to tie it back to this, but it's important to know who Bill Gates is and why it's so important in this situation, because him and these companies like Vanguard, they all kind of do the same thing. They're venture capitalists, they're headhunters. They go out and they buy up little companies, and they merge them into bigger companies. Exactly. So they get these mom and pops. So now this is what they're doing with the farmland. So now they're going in, and now they're making it so expensive to farm anyway. Do you know what I mean? With the rise of everything, with the rise of crops, with the rise of diesel gas, for their tractors,
the white gold eggs,
right? Eggs, right? You know what I mean? So and I'm at the tail end of it, as a small business owner owning a deli and owning a grocery store, so I even see it on my end, obviously. So even the person that's growing the stuff, that's killing the cows, that's growing that's raising the chickens, it's all going up. So this is what they do. So they purposely did that so that they can come in and say, hey, listen, I'll give you fucking 2 times as much as your farm is worth. Sell it right now. All the mom and pop guys, get out. You're out. Okay, they come in now. Bill Gates isn't growing anything on these farmlands that he owns. So that this, and then at the same time, he's pushing fake meat, fake bugs. And then fucking
Europe just passed that law. I think you sent me the post where they're allegedly, it's legal. I guess I'm not sure if it's mandatory, but I think it's now they're processing insects into their food. The problem with eating insects is that after you consume them so much, it start giving you some type of parasite or some bullshit that get the people sick. Again, depopulation agenda. Yeah,
that's what it all ties back to. You know what I mean? And then even if you go back and read some of the great, or the great dictators, not great as good people, but like leaders. Dictators, they always say, how to control people. You control the food and the water, and at the same time, he's buying up. So those farmlands have water wells under them. He has the property rights to those water wells. So, so he's controlling the food and the water. If you do that, while you're devaluing the currency, making it impossible for people to get cheap shit, and then impossible for to grow your own shit, because so now let's tie this back into the train stuff. So, so now the Ohio train derailment, at first glance it's whatever, but then you got to look at where it happened. What's in that area? First of all, it's 98% white. It's middle class poor. Okay, it's 90% conservative Trump voters, one of the reddest counties in the country. Okay, so that's just right off the rip. You got to look at that, right? So not only that, the farmland in that specific area is some of the most fertile farmland, not only in the country, in the world. It's known for that. Okay, and a lot of Amish organic farmers were there. There were a lot of organic farms were there, a lot of wheat farms. So, and these people were all small farm owners. They all had, everyone had chicken, you know what I mean? They all had like their own little community that pretty much could survive.
They're not owned by big franchises or
by
big
nobody.
Companies.
They could completely have no government and they would be fine. And there's zero crime. That was the other thing. When Trump went down, he was talking to the mayor and he said, they don't have crime there. So this is one of those things that they don't want just to have. They don't want us to look at and see that this is possible to have.
You sent me a chart where allegedly, so I went on a deep dive right before I came into vacation. That same week I came into vacation, I took off. You did something for me. You pushed me on a direction where I had to go take a deep dive. I found out that in the past 5 weeks, there was 10 derailments and they have all been connected to not only red states, most of them were red states. I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them were red states. And 8 out of 10 had farmlands. 8 out of 10 were on rivers, and 8 out of 10 were conservative. All right, bro. Just like you just mentioned right now, Bill Gates owns he's the biggest farmland owner, not only in the world, in the US, but also in Louisiana. And the reason I'm bringing Louisiana in is because the derailment that happened, the chemical derailment that happened in Louisiana, happened in an area that's known for fertilizer, for dairy products, for eggs, for meat, for cattle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he's the biggest owner in that area. And they're also selling land in that area. So now, what I'm trying to tie it back into the derailments, they are attacking the food, attacking our livelihood, attacking not only the river, the water, and the food, trying to own it, but also by contaminating it, but also attacking the red states so that they could submit not the people, but the leaders into their will. 100%. That's what because people are never going to vote blue. They're never, even if they but the leaders are going to submit.
They can tie federal dollars to certain things, right? They could say, listen, we'll give you this federal grant to help you clean up, but you got to implement CRT in your schools.
There we go.
You gotta not pass that law that stops transgenders minors from getting surgeries. You gotta come out publicly and say that you are for Joe Biden's infrastructure plan. Like things like this is how the federal government works.
You gotta allow JP Morgan Chase to buy your eggs. You gotta buy you have to own the milk.
To sell your farmland now. And now look, all that farmland is polluted, right? So now what are they gonna do with that? They're gonna sell it to who? JP Morgan Chase, Vanguard, Bill Gates. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they're perfectly fine growing absolutely nothing on it. They don't give a shit. That's why they'll go poison all of this shit. They're not going to grow nothing on it because they, the whole cow farts and everything like that. So, this is their excuse now is they're like, oh, we'll come in, we'll buy it, we'll turn it into a wind farm. Or, we'll come in, we'll buy it, we'll turn it into fucking a soybean, like just ridiculous stuff that we don't need, obviously. It's going to drive up the price of everything else to the point where middle America is not going to be able to afford basic shit, like already like eggs and meat and all this. I'm telling you, I own a deli. I order, I take orders, I find out how much wholesale stuff is, and I'm telling the price of everything, it's getting to the point where there is no profit margin. We're having to raise our prices so much and have to pay our people too $15 an hour minimum wage in New York, which is crazy for a small business like me. I employ 25 people tops, so that's not a lot. And so then we have to make our prices high. I mean, we have high quality food, organic food, but it's not, you can go to Stop and Shop and get the same, not the same thing, but like a bag of chips is a little more expensive at my place than it would be at Stop and Shop. So people are just going to Stop and Shop. People are just going to go to the bigger markets, so it's,
the ones that happened to stay open during the pandemic.
Bro, and we were so lucky that they almost closed us down. But since I was considered a grocery store and I was the neighborhood grocery store, but we're also a deli. We were essential, so we got saved by that, bro. You know what I mean? And we kept all our employees on. We kept it. We didn't make no money, but we kept enough to keep the lights on, pay everybody, and that was it. So thank God for that. But now I see what they're doing because it's not just me being a conspiracy theorist or me being a conservative. I see it as working in this industry. I see what they're doing. They're raising the prices of the bare essentials. They want to get people onto alternative shit, right? So then you're gonna have no. So then here they come with the fake eggs. They're gonna be cheap. They're gonna say it tastes the same, but it's super cheap. They're gonna get you used to that. This is
Well,
how
you don't know what they're doing to your body. They're making you into a fucking consumer for pharmaceutical companies.
100%.
Dog.
And
they're only gonna make
it's
you
all
sicker.
lab grown. It's all lab grown shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this is what it is. And we're seeing a merger of all these big companies, big pharma, big tech, big food, you know, big agriculture. And they're all coming together and with this agenda, you know, and they're using under the guise of ESG, you know, equity, safety, and governance, you know, like that's their new term, or DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, you know, and the quotas with the rate. And then so everything is going to be a protected class except straight white people. Everything else is going to be a protected class that gets these certain treatments, you know, and Christians are like, if you're a Christian, white, even Latino too now, it's like, you know, if you're just a Christian in general, even if you're a black conservative, the left is perfectly fine being racist towards these people. It's crazy.
You know what, bro? They absolutely own most of what we eat already as it is, what we consume on the entertainment industry, the music, even with the things that you fucking brush your teeth with. All right, bro?
It's all those they're all coming together. All those big corporations coming together.
They're positioning themselves, getting themselves ready, not only for global control, but for the new world order.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a corporatocracy.
I now remember what I was trying to say. I don't know if it was you that sent me the video. I think it was. There was a video of a Muslim speaker where he's saying I think he's a Muslim leader somewhere in Asia, and he's talking about how a lot of the Muslim people that are lobbying, and I'm not saying all Muslims are bad. I'm talking about their leaders, their elites, people that are lobbying, investing, petroleum owners that have a power or at least some type of influence in political parties here in the United States of America will never vote red. They will never go to the right because it's easier for them to implement or to strike or to corrupt or to destroy America from within if they are voting blue. Same thing with the cartels.
Yeah,
a lot of the situation, a lot of the things, the reason a lot of this fentanyl and all these other fucking zombie drugs and all these drugs that are pouring in from the south side of the border, the reason they're pouring in is because we have the floodgates are opened in down south right now because of the Democratic Party, not the Democrat people that vote blue. I'm not talking about
nobody wants an open border. You know what I mean? Like he didn't run on an open border. Like that's just what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like that's they're not paying attention. And the average Democrat voter, they're just so against whatever the right is that they'll go along with the left, even if it's super crazy, just because they don't want to agree with the right. You know what I mean? So now it's like, you know, like abortions were supposed to be like, you know, safe and very rare. And now it's like the Democrat Party is literally saying up until the moment of birth and sometimes after birth.
Popular.
You know what I'm saying? And then and that's just what you have to go with as a Democrat. Like there's no middle ground anymore. Like you can't be moderate.
Have you noticed that they're taking care? Look, I'm a product of immigration. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm adopted.
Same,
by I was
100%.
adopted by a Mexican family, and then my parents are from Guatemala, and my wife is even Salvadorian. Okay, I'm a Latino by heart, but I'm a product of immigration, and I'm not talking shit here, but this is facts.
No.
Dude, it's protecting our land. You feed us first before you feed anybody else. You have these immigrants 100%. Coming in. I'm not talking about bad people. I'm not saying they're all rapists. I'm not Donald Trump, and I'm not falsifying anything. But these people are coming across the border. Look, dude, I'm gonna tell you something, dog. I've seen gangsters. I've seen people from the MS-13. I know what they speak like. I know how they behave, and I know what they're about. They're about raping the fucking system, and there's no fucking chance in hell that the United States of America is not getting raped when fucking Biden is giving them fucking smartphones the moment they walk in here, paperwork, and they fucking let loose in the streets, and then they come around. And this is what happens. They fucking get a fake social security number. Then they go to a temp agency and work in a fucking warehouse while we're over here paying taxes. And then they turn around, use that same fake number to collect income tax while they're getting EBT and having anchor babies. Dog, you're fucking the shit out of our system. I'm sorry.
Bro, and then they send their money back to wherever they come from anyway.
Jesus. And then they ask
they don't even spend the money here.
Look,
they don't even spend the money that they make here.
I'm a product of immigration, but it's shameful to see how the Democratic Party is fucking leading. It's not It's not you people. It's not my people. It's the politicians in charge of the immigration process in this country and leading us to fucking bullshit, dog. I'm sorry to say this, and I know I'm gonna get a lashback from probably my fucking co-host, and I'm gonna get lashback from the Mexican community, and I'm gonna get lashback from a lot of Latinos. But dog, somebody had to fucking say it. It's the truth.
Well, listen, but you guys should be angry, but you're angry at the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? You should be angry at the system that is literally manipulating you for cheap labor. It's the big corporations that are lobbying the Democrats to open the border. It's not the Democrats' position. Obama was one of the strongest against on the border. He was one who built the cages. Obama built the cages. Obama separated the children from the parents. That was what he did. Trump inherited that system. All Trump did was shut it down. And listen, if I get pulled over with my son and I'm drinking and driving, they're going to separate me from my son. Why? So that's the same thing at the border. You already broke a law by coming here illegally. So yes, when you get arrested, you get separated. They weren't just separating parents because they wanted to.
Exactly.
Okay. So that was and then the most unhumane thing is now is 5.6 million people have come here in 2 years illegally. That's plus 1.5 million gotaways that we don't know about. So that's a potential of almost 7 million people in 2 years. That's more people than in 25 states. We have let in more people in the last 2 years, undocumented, unchecked, unvaccinated, by the way, not fingerprinted, no biometrics, and that's it. And then you know what? And I don't want to hear this argument about how, this is a country of immigrants and everybody came here. Yes, but in the back in the day, you had to have a sponsor here, number one. You had to have a John lined up. You had to have proof of residency.
It's chaos. It's anarchy if you don't have any laws.
You had to get your fingerprint. Listen, my father's from Puerto Rico. The other side of my family came from Ellis Island, from Italy. And then and Italians were treated like non-whites. Okay, for a very long time. They had their own drinking fountains too, along with the black people. Okay, so we were treated as non-whites too. So I get that whole argument too. But it's just now the government is literally manipulating the immigration system for cheap labor. And now come to find out, the New York Times just came out. The New York Times, that's right, I said it. The New York Times, not the New York Post, just came out with a report about how 100,000 undocumented minors have come here, right, in the last 2 years. Out of those, about 80,000 are literally working in factories all around this country with child labor. Now you got the Democrat Party also pushing for child's rights, right? How children can make up their own mind about their gender and their sex. How close are we getting back to child labor? How close are we back to getting to child labor laws?
Wow.
Because you know what? Now if they could pick their gender
and their age,
and then listen, and then that's a slippery slope, and then obviously they can consent to sex if they're allowed to have a job.
Oh, dog. It's all
connected. This is a slippery slope, bro, and it's all the agenda, and it's all connected.
They gave them fucking Samsung Galaxies upon coming into the border absolutely free. And guess what they're doing? Wait. Biden gave me a phone. Biden gave me the ability to fucking work here. So automatically you're for Biden. Automatically you're going to vote blue.
Of course,
and then
that's a blue vote for life.
And then they're mining your fucking your data, speaking with this other people across the fucking borders on that same phone they gave you.
And you know what? Dog. And these people will be so loyal to the state because they're so grateful for the state.
And they're so blinded.
And then along with all these criminals that they're letting out of jail early, who do you think their side they're going to be on? They're literally creating an army. Listen, they're creating an army, bro. I'm going to tell you that right now, because the people that they're letting in are military-aged men, number one. You already got Antifa in this country, number two. And these people are going to be so loyal. They'll wear a mask whenever you tell them. They'll do whatever it is because they want to be in this country and they want socialism. And listen, I appreciate people that come here for freedom. I do not respect people that come here from socialism because you fled socialism. So if you're coming here for the same thing is going to happen. And I don't blame, 99% of these people are good. But it's the 1%, just like in our country, it's the 1% that are at the top, the cartels that are manipulating anything. And then now we come to find out that the cartels are working with fucking the governor in Arizona.
Okay. Right Katie before you say that, check this out. You mentioned something. I'm going to say something. We're going to bring that in right now. I'm going to mention something that's going to hurt people even more. This is going to be a dangerous fucking speech I'm going to give you guys right now. But this is honest. The Bible says either you're hot or either cold, but you're never lukewarm, or I'm going to vomit you out of my mouth. I think that's what he says. There's different interpretations. Either you're hot or you're cold. What I'm trying to say here is, if you're gonna come from a fucking different country to escape communism, to escape gangs, to escape bullshit, to reach asylum, get prepared for change. Change
Right.
means change of livelihood, change of style, change of language. Get ready
Culture.
for change. I don't want you to fucking live the same when you
Right.
just escaped the same. Stop. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Not learning English and having anchor babies gets me fucking pissed. I'm sorry. There's people out here, dog, in LA, bro. I'm not in LA right now, but there's people out in LA.
Oh yeah, it's a mess out
Fucking
there. Yeah.
Christ, bro. It's a fucking mess, man.
It's like billions of
competing.
dollars. Yeah.
I'm competing with people that don't know English and that are flooding all the. I'm in the industry of logistics, bro. It's fucking insane, bro. How the type of people that have to fucking. And I'm born here and I'm paying taxes. And I mentioned this before. My daughter, my newborn, she's not newborn anymore. She's almost one now. She does not qualify for fucking medical free welfare, free medical. What's it called? It's called Medicare, care. She doesn't qualify because I'm working. I'm making too much money. Yet I don't get not one tax return, fool. I owe the state and the government money after I do my tax returns, bro. Literally, I have 2 fucking daughters, dude. How the fuck am I paying more?
See, bro,
and how the fuck am I like? And then these people are receiving money, nigga.
Bro, bro. See, that's how they get.
Fuck you, no.
Bro, that's the Democrat system. But that's what they want. They want as many people as possible on the system. So then you rely on the system. So then you have to vote for the system in order to continue living on the system. You know, so if they can get you relying on the government, they got you a big government voter for life. That's it. And then and this is what the other side, you know, I don't really consider myself a Republican either, but they're preaching more individual responsibility. You know what I mean? The government should only be in your life for certain things. You know what I mean? And the bigger the government, the more the taxes. And we already seen what a big government looks like during COVID, when they get into your healthcare decisions, when they get into all this, and like, look, they completely destroyed it. We needed more individual, private people coming out with their opinions, because they were all right. They were, coming out now that the lab leak is true. That the day it came out, I said that we all said it came out of the lab from Wuhan. It's right down the street.
Hey, that's out now, and nobody's talking about it. Why?
Right?
What's going on?
It's 3 years. See, that's why they wait this long. So then,
because people are asleep.
Right, and then she's like, people are over it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, you were right. Who cares?
They don't want to hear COVID. They don't want to hear masks. They're tired of it, and they'll do anything to just fucking let it go.
Because they know they were right. Because they know they were all wrong. You know what I mean? So now they want to act like it's not a big deal that they made us live this crazy life, and it was all not true. You know what I mean? Like and then another thing came out with the mask not working. They never worked. You know, and then the vaccine never stopped transmission. They never even knew that it didn't stop transmission. They just said it did. They never even tested it to see if it did.
Can I tell you something, dog? This is a personal issue here. This is a problem that's happening right now. I think we're deviating from the main topic, but I have to bring this up also. My daughter's 12 years old. My 12-year-old daughter cannot be without a fucking mask on her face. She's with her friends. They're talking there at the movies. Anyway, because one of them, it's a style now. Like, why do you hide your face? Your face is who you are in this fucking world. You hide your face, then you have this. Then you have social issues, and then you have depression, and then you don't know who you are, and then you're lost, and then you need to go find yourself, and then you become fucking 71 identities and or sex, whatever the fuck they're called now, right?
That's
pronouns or whatever.
Bro.
And then, dude, it's all a mind game.
That's
dog.
it. They're erasing they're erasing identities so that they can implement the new one. That's it.
Yes.
They want to make it like an avatar.
Program you
like it's a Sims game. You know what I mean? And
I'm so disappointed, bro.
And then you take it in the metaverse. It's like that's what they want you in a headgear, and live in this life through this character, and then have no identity, no set. You know what? And I was thinking about this the other day. Why do they want people to be like non-binary and not really identify with it? Because companies can just advertise to the people. It doesn't have to be girl and female. You know how much more money companies can make if they can just give it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can just give it, just advertise to all people instead of men, female, Christian, Muslim, this, that it could just be the people, you know what I mean? And they'll make it like, oh, we all should be one, we're all one world religion, but it's really one world dominant, one world government, one world corporation. That's what it is. It's a corporatocracy, which what we're seeing right now, which is so anti-American.
It's about power and money.
And they used our system against us. They used our capitalist system against us, and it's really fucked, man. Yeah, it's fucked up.
So Biden is fucking now going back to fucking Europe and Ukraine and NATO.
Oh, man.
Biden is giving up for fucking World War III. China's pissed. We sent more troops to Taiwan. We're about to send the fucking hillbilly bombs to fucking to North Korea, and Russia's pissed the fuck out. And now they're going. Now we're bringing Ukrainians here to fucking train them and sending them back. And NATO's giving up. So the United States of America did a very strategic thing when they built NATO. They wanted Germany as an ally. Now that Germany is in NATO and it's an ally, we have a fighting chance against Russia. However, it seems like Russia knows how to play their cards right because their ruble is up, and they're still in Ukraine. They liberated the cities that they wanted, and we're still there after a year, sending over $70 billion. I did the math yesterday.
200 billion now. 200 billion.
And Ohio got how much? Ohio got Trump.
Ohio got Trump order. Yeah.
Wow.
That's about it. But listen, I had a thought about this, right? Because so China and Russia got together before Russia actually invaded Ukraine. They had a meeting. Like Z went to Russia, and then people were making a big deal about it, blah blah blah. And nothing came of it, whatever. And then Russia went ahead and invaded Ukraine. So now I was like, okay, like that's interesting. So obviously he got the blessing from Z, because Russia can't really do much without China. Listen, like Russia's economy is only the size of Texas. They're not like some superpower. You know what I mean? So they have a lot of nuclear weapons. But so what I think was happening was I think they made a deal. I think Z said, listen, you're going to go into Ukraine. You're going to draw it out, right? Because listen, Russia could have went in there and wiped it all out in a second. But
they weren't even using their first that state-of-the-art weapons.
It wasn't a war. It was a special military operation. They wanted the biolabs. The biolabs that we have admittedly that are there. We have over 42 biolabs in Ukraine. Russia doesn't want them there. So they were really originally targeting those. Now it's turning into a war and it's being dragged out. But now China and Russia are going to team up. And what I think's happened is that now we're putting so much resources towards Ukraine, $200 billion. Now, Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, she just went down there today and gave him another 1.2 billion cash. That's after the 10 billion cash that the video I made about blew up about. So we're just literally looting our treasury, right? It's all money laundering. So what I think is happening is that I think Russia's drawing us into Ukraine, pretty much all of our resources. Now, China, maybe in the next 6 months to a year, is going to take Taiwan, and we're going to be so invested in Ukraine that we're not going to have nothing for Taiwan. We're not going to have nothing. We're not going to be able to defend it at all. I mean, that's a whole nother argument if we should or not. But so I think this is World War III, but with the proxy through Ukraine and through Russia. So now what's going to happen is now the NATO was talking about making Ukraine part of NATO now all of a sudden, which is the one thing Russia said do not do. Okay, that would be like Mexico. I said this before. That'd be like Mexico and China making a little deal, and then China putting troops on the Mexican border. How would we feel about
U.S. will never have that.
Exactly.
The U.S. will never have that.
And then Mexico had biolabs right on our border, 42 of them.
They cross the line.
You would be done. We'd be bombing you.
It's NATO getting closer to Russia than Russia getting
closer to us. That's all it is. And if you look at the map, like how NATO started from the 1990s till now, like all those countries were not part of it. Like they are literally coming in like this. Like Russia's here and NATO countries are coming in like this. So Russia feels a little nervous. Yeah. And they should. And they should, because, the lunatics in the West who are running our lives too, it's the liberal world order. Listen, enemy of my enemy is my friend. Putin, even Z, and the American people, not the government, have a common enemy, and that is the liberal world order. Okay, because if it was the American people, they would have been bombing, they would have been setting off bombs over here already too. All right, because Russia can reach the United States in a heartbeat. Don't get it twisted. If they wanted to happen, they could. So it's not about that. It's how this liberal world order, like NATO, the EU, are so not democratic at all. Now it's becoming this corporatocracy or this military industrial complex, which is the ones making the weapons, and they make the war. The people that make the weapons make the war, and it makes money. And you got all the people that work in the Pentagon that are that used to work in the military industrial complex, or that are trying to get a job when they retire to go into the military industrial complex. Okay, it's just a war machine. As soon as we pulled out of Afghanistan, we had this shit in Ukraine, and we pushed Russia into it. We pushed it. And listen, and nobody's talking about peace. That's how I know. All of a sudden, the left is pro-war. All of a sudden, they used to be anti-war. They used to say the neocons, the conservatives are warmongers, this and that. Trump's going to start a new war with fucking Putin, and no wars. He started none.
Doug, I'm going to tell you something, Doug. I'm telling you right now, there's people in LA, which is California is a blue state. There's people in LA. There's a lot more liberals and fucking conservatives. There's people in LA, dog, that don't even know where the fuck Ukraine's at, or why Ukraine's at war, or who the fuck is, like what's they have no idea. Right. All they know is Biden sent more money. And what's up with Biden? Now, Biden went for President's Day. He went to Ukraine while Ohio was burning.
That's a finger in the eye.
And then
That's
the dude is like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, making a fool of himself in front of on another. Wow,
bro, I'm convinced now that what's happening is it's literally a show, and it's literally to get us violent. Like everything they're doing now is literally a finger in the eye. They want another January 6th. Okay, on President's Day, when Ohio is burning, he went to Ukraine to give him more money. Like already knowing that half the country is like done with all of that, and then like and then the conservatives are like really done with it.
Hey, can't we stop him from doing that? Like he doesn't work for us? Like can we?
I mean, like nobody in Congress, like there's not enough people in Congress to do anything, and that's the thing. So what I think is they're setting us up for a false flag. I think they're doing so much outlandish shit, shooting down fucking spy balloons, supposedly not shooting them down, letting them do all this stuff. And then now if something happens, they could just be like, oh, look, it's MAGA Republicans because they're so upset about Biden going to Ukraine and spending our money. You know what I mean? Like they're setting narratives. Like that's all they do is set the narrative.
We need the money at home. We need the money at home.
What's 200? Bro, we're already in an inflationary period. You're printing more money. You're giving away our weapons. What I mean? Like, and we give away weapons to everybody. You know what I mean? So then it's
even if the train derailments were an accident, why did they derail? Those fucking should have been state-of-the-art rails. They should have been, dog. We are the most richest, the highest fucking grossing company. We are the biggest corporation nation here. We have the best military ever. Right?
It's Norfolk's fault. It was Norfolk's fault because first they tried to blame Trump for that. So supposedly they said him running back, but now I just put it on my story like completely debunked by the Washington Post. Okay, the
big names here, big names.
Okay, right? Because like this a left wing paper that hate Trump's, but the facts are the facts. It had nothing to do with that. They were already on fire. They had 3 warnings that the brakes were heating up. Nobody did anything. They let and then there's video of it being on fire like a mile before. It went off the tracks, and then it went off the tracks right where it goes into the Ohio Basin that goes down to the Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, which goes into the drinking water. Okay, and then they chose chemical burn. They chose to chemically burn vinyl chloride, which turns it into like phosphoric acid and acid. It's like the most horrible thing for you. It's cancer.
People are seeing ash and shit. It's
bro. Like people have like if you go like on people's TikToks like down there or Twitters and stuff, it's bad. Like they have really, really bad skin infections. Like 44,000 wildlife have died. Fish, dogs, like
glosses peeling off their cars. Like I've seen crazy ass shit.
And so they told people to leave, and then they said it was fine to go back. So the government told them to go back. It was fine. The kids are in school in East Palestine right now. Those kids are in school. Okay, and let us not forget, they told us that the air was clean on 9/11 after the fucking Twin Towers came down, and now look at all those firefighters and policemen that have cancer now.
But they fucking made us wear a mask that you could smell a fart through for COVID. I don't get it. This is dumb.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about, bro.
You have to be extremely dumb. And
I'm sorry. This isn't about race. It's about narrative. If this happened in Atlanta or in a minority neighborhood, there would have been a completely different media attention. And then the media attention brings the government's attention. So in the beginning, when Ohio this happened, the media didn't care. It's a poor white Christian.
They even took people to jail for trying to report it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So they were trying to shut this thing down early. Okay, but then Trump said, I'm going down there. And then all of a sudden, the EPA and FEMA reversed their decision and now are sending aid. Okay, that's power, that's influence, and that's how you help the people. And people want to say, oh, it was a political stunt. We want you to go ask those people in East Palestine if it was a political stunt. That shit, please. You know how bad they were feeling? They were feeling like they were abandoned, that nobody cared. There was no media down there. And the ex-president of the United States came down to a little neighborhood of 5,000 people
with pallets of food and water.
All the stuff that the government didn't bring, and he shook their hands and he spent 5 hours down there. Okay, so you call it what you want. That is fucking heroic. Okay, and that is what this country is lacking, and that is something that Joe Biden could never fucking do.
What a fucking bitch! I'm sorry, he's a
While he was doing that, Joe Biden was in Ukraine jerking off Zelensky.
Thank you.
Making sure the fucking
cocaine,
making sure the piggy bank was right, making sure his son's shit is all tight, and nobody's talking. Okay, and then we got so the contrast could not be clearer here. Okay, it's not even America first or America. It's good versus evil. That is it now. Okay, this is no longer political. These political debates is what's separating us and is what's drawing us apart. It's that we all have a common thing in humanity. Truth will unite us. We have to rally around truth. That is it, bro.
Loyalty, patriotism, and fucking truth. This is
100%.
important, people. Important, because it doesn't matter what creed, what religion, background, size, color of skin. Doesn't matter who the fuck, where you come from. At the end of the day, you want to feed your family. You want to stay safe. You want to fucking grow economically. We all have that same mentality. And the United States has the American dream. This is the place to do it. The only way to do it is by protecting the United States. And I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about your soil. I'm talking about your family, your food, your territory, the way you fucking reach other people, everything, morals and values and everything that has been instilled in us. Dude, I'm a millennial, bro. I'm a millennial, dog, and I'm an old school type of person that was, conservative way.
Yeah,
and I'm not afraid. I'm not against people getting married in the same sex. And even to a point, I agree with abortion. No, the government shouldn't tell you what to do with your body, and you live how you want to live. I'll live. Don't fuck with me, and don't fuck with the kids, and do whatever you want with your butthole. Or do whatever you want with your fucking family. That's your shit. That's
you're more libertarian.
Yeah, but like in a sense of like, don't fuck with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't fuck with my livelihood either, bro.
I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's the American way, though. At the end of the day, we've
100%.
constructed this beautiful nation out of that same idea. You know what I'm saying? But the fucking left of these, I'm talking about Joe Biden, his fucking little puppets, bro. Like, I think he's even a puppet. Like, they are destroying this shit. This look, dog. I'm gonna tell you something. This looks like the most coordinated attack, terrorist attack. It looks like in the next from 2020 for like 9/11 up to 2023 to year to date, bro. It looks like the most coordinated terrorist attack of all history, dog. Like 100%. It looks like this is how the fucking Roman Empire collapsed, dog. It looks like somebody.
This is how war is now. It's not going to be an army invading us. We're too strong militarily. We have too many guns in the hands of a farmer. We could defend ourselves. It's going to be this economic. It's on our dollar. Our dollar's getting depleted. Our debt. We're $37 trillion in debt or whatever it is. We're passing these insane bills. We're looting the treasury, giving it all to Ukraine, and they know it's collapsing, so they're looting the treasury. Listen, all empires usually crumble every 250 years, so we're about due for one. And before that happens, you always loot the treasury. That's what they're doing. They know the collapse is coming, but what's going to happen is what's going to rise from the ashes. That's what we're fighting for. And I think they already lost. And you know what? And I'm a firm believer in the hate that divides us fails in comparison to the love that can bring us together. And I always go back to the day after 9/11, how different we were before that day politically, and then the day after, everybody came together. And everybody was showing patriotism. Everybody was flying that flag. Everybody was standing for the national anthem. All the sports games had, people crying. You know what I mean?
Taking the American flag down from classrooms in order to put the gay flag up there, the LGBTQ flag. So that's crazy, wrong. Bro. That doesn't represent pride, and it doesn't represent freedom. You know what represents freedom? The fucking 13 stripes, the 50 stars, the one that allowed you to be gay, the one that allowed you to get fucking married, the one that allowed you to fucking play with whatever the fuck you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
Dog, it's just
that's it.
Ass backwards, bro.
They don't want equality. They want superiority. They want different rules. They don't, because they already have the same rules. We all have the same rights. You know what I'm saying? We all have the same rights. There's no rights that they don't have that we have. They just want to be able to use the bathroom that they want, even though if they no matter what's between their legs.
We've had that before.
You know what I mean? We've had that before. Right. That's white supremacy. Okay, so they really want to go back to that, almost like a segregation, own their own stuff, their own sport, and then now you got men. How crazy is that?
That's
wrong.
Where
all the feminists, men playing in women's sports, women's sports so hard. The women's suffrage, Title IX, getting their own sports, getting their own things, and then you got a man thinking that he's a woman now, so he wants to go play with women and dominate
obliterating the records.
And that's equality. That's superiority. And a lot of these people are white men doing it. So you want to talk about white supremacy? And there's nothing more white supremacy than a white dude deciding he's a woman to go beat up on women in sports leagues.
Or even worse.
Crazy.
Or even worse, go have sex with your fucking kid at 12 years old. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. And then think that you have a right to that? That's not superiority.
That's called superiority.
And us being against it is superiority. Listen, up is down, down is up in the world of communism. We can't make sense of this. There's no making sense of this. There's no arguing with these people. There's no convincing them. So that's it. It's just time to wake up the other lions. That's you know what I mean. The other people that are in the middle that know there's something wrong but don't want to get involved. It's time to get those people involved. So
I love the way you put that out. You guys don't want freedom. You guys don't want equality. You guys want supremacy. I like that. And I'm gonna use that shit in the video upcoming next. Now, flashing from underscore news one. Make sure to tell the people where they can find you on Twitter. I know you're on Twitter now. I have to share the shit out of your fucking Twitter account. I only have like 300 something followers, but we have to fucking get that shit in the works.
Yeah, I'm just trying to back it up. You know, I'm over on IG. I just reached 1,500 followers over there. I'm hyped about it. Had a couple videos go a little viral. So
hey, that's a fucking milestone, dog. I'm waiting to get to the first 1,000 too, bro. Like,
I'm beating the shadow ban. I think my restrictions have been lifted, so that's cool. And then and then over on Twitter, flashy_news. That's
right. Make sure you follow him on flashy_news on Twitter. If you can't find him because we my thick accent, go to paranoidradio.com. You can find him on the fucking special guests and links. And also he has his own little segment on paranoidradio.com where I'm featuring him and his his biggest hits on Instagram. And then you click the action button and it takes you directly to his Twitter account. So that's also easy accessible, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an amazing episode. We ranted out, we took it out, and I'm gonna keep continuing my fucking vacation here for another week in Central America, enjoying the fucking weather. This fucking ugly ass sun. Man, I'm trying to tell the sun, like, stop, dude. We know you're a G. Stop trying to keep it 100.
Yo, chill. Keep the light on me, bro. Yeah, man.
All right, Flash. Thank you so much for being here, dog. It's an honor, bro.
Pleasure, bro. Thank you, kid.
Paranoid Radio.